It is May 29th, 2011, and we're here visiting our dear friend Ruth McMullin in St. George, Utah. Ruth lived for many years in Santa Barbara, California, where we knew her very well, and she continues to be loved in Santa Barbara for all of the wonderful spirit that she brought to the church family there. But more importantly, she grew up in southern Alberta with my mom and dad and my grandparents, and I thought on the occasion of her 114th birthday, actually Ruth is 94, am I right, Ruth? Mm-hmm. That we would reminisce a little bit about growing up in Alberta. So now, where were you born?
In McGrath.
You were born in McGrath.
1917.
In 1917.
Then we moved to Tabor in 1922. And
that was the year that my mom was born. By the way, we have Irene Elton with us as well. And so in 1922 you moved to...
You know Earl Pingree?
Tabor.
To Tabor.
Earl Pingree, he lived in McGrath.
I haven't heard the name.
My dad's older brother.
Oh.
So now tell me what you remember about my grandfather, David Horton Elton, and his wife, Afton.
Well, his wife was very beautiful. We all admired her. She dressed so chic and always had pretty hats and
beautiful hats,
dresses, and I don't know. She just seemed
had the latest thing.
She was a belle. She was a step above us.
She was a Southern belle. That's right, from Tennessee, right?
Yeah. And we just admired her so much. And then your grandpa was tall and handsome,
and she dressed him always like an Englishman.
Yeah.
She liked to be married to an Englishman. So when they went up to see the king and queen, she had dressed him in this suit tux, you know, like long tail. And the paper saw it and took a picture of them. It was in the newspaper, them shaking hands with the king and queen.
Oh,
so it was like a,
oh my. He always wore sort of a,
you know,
it
one
wasn't
day,
really tails, but it was
kind of a waistcoat.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something funny about him. I went up to an errand for my mother and dad. I went past him, and he was trying to change his tire in his car. He kept saying, "Bad boy, bad boy." And I said, I think he was drunk. He kept saying bad boy. But I said, that's the way he swears here.
Oh dear.
Isn't that right?
I guess. And then another thing, he was on the High Council for the Lethbridge State. You knew that.
Yes.
So he used to visit us in Tabor, and we always loved to have him come because his voice was so wonderful. And he would recite these poems that he had written, and his voice would just ring in that church. You know, it was wonderful when Brother came. And we all just loved them, and she didn't always come with him, but...
Yeah. She was president of the Relief Society one time. Then she got away from she started to smoke. and you know what? Mr. Elton used to buy her cigarettes. I said, "Do why you buy her cigarettes?" Listen, she can do whatever she wants.
That's right.
Wasn't she sometimes in plays in Lethbridge? Wasn't she in a play?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's one of those pictures she did.
And that's what started her on the smoking. She had to smoke in this play.
Oh, was that right? I didn't know
And so
that.
she did it. It was okay. And then your other grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, tell us about, that's my mom's mom and dad, Byron and Gwen
Yes.
Tanner.
They were more my mother and dad's age. In fact, Byron and my dad were very good friends.
Yes.
And Byron wasn't always in the church either. And neither was my dad at a younger age. And they used to go hunting.
Hunting, yes.
Shooting the coyotes or the deer out
ducks
north of Tabor.
Yeah.
And My mother would always get mad, always with Byron, accusing him of being drinking or something. But then they made my dad the bishop, so he repented. But they were always good friends. Always good friends. When we'd go to Lethbridge, we'd go to their house. You know, we used to drive up for conference in the Lethbridge State. And it was when they had 3 meetings a day.
Oh, yeah.
And people in Lethbridge were so good. They would invite us to dinner.
Now, back in those days, Ruth, when they had a state conference, a general authority would come and visit, right?
Always.
Can you remember who came?
Oh dear. Cowley.
Matthew Cowley?
Yeah. He's the one that swore.
No.
Matthew
That
Cowley.
was J. Golden Kimball.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
Now, who was the president of the church when you were a girl?
Heber J.
Heber J. Grant. And then it was George Albert Smith,
and
right?
then George Albert. And then my uncle, President Wood, was the state president. And
I used to think he was God. He was,
Oh, yeah, this is a great story. So, Mom, kind of speak up and tell us about that, about President Wood.
He used to work at the temple all the time. And he walked by and pat us on the head, you know. I just thought he was Jesus Christ. I honestly did. He was so wonderful. I thought.
Beautiful white hair. And
Yeah, and looked beautiful. He was so nice.
and he was full of stories.
Yeah.
He would start one and he'd think of another, and on and on and on. Full of stories and faithful. You know, they'd go out in the sleighs, and Claire's home, all those outlying places, and meet with them on the winter nights, winter days. My mother was on the Sunday school stake board, and she froze her legs when winter. It was terrible. Just awful where they would go. Nothing stopped them.
now, do you remember Hubie Brown?
Uh-huh.
Tell us a little bit about what your memories of Hubie Brown.
Oh, he was a great, handsome man. Now, he's your uncle?
Well, he
was my uncle.
Yeah, he was Mom's uncle.
Uncle Eldon was his. Really, we were kind of not related very closely, but Uncle Eldon. Oh.
Now, interestingly enough, Ruth, and Eldon Tanner
Uh-huh.
and Mom's dad, my grandpa Byron, were cousins,
Oh,
and they married sisters.
oh my goodness, that's
Yes.
right. The Merrill girl.
Sarah.
The Merrill girl.
So it was Gwen, Merrill, and Sarah, right?
That's right.
I forgot
So-
about that.
Huh?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right. So now, do you remember? Now you're 5 years older than Mom.
Uh-huh.
So do you remember the kids? Do you remember Ben and Chester and you don't? But did you remember Mom at all?
No, not until she started visiting you, and well, I'd seen her in Lethbridge a little bit. No, I didn't live in Calgary ever.
Did you ever know Dalt?
Oh yeah, he was our MC. He was our mutual
I used to wait for him to sing.
president. Huh?
Now tell me about Dad. So this is our dad, Dalt, and he was the head of the mutual.
Uh-huh. And he was always the MC of something.
He was always what?
Always the MC.
Yeah.
And cracking jokes.
You know what? When he was conducting, when he was bishop,
Yeah.
Byron, Tanner went, he says, Daddy doesn't conduct. He MCs the meetings.
Yeah, he was the bishop. He wouldn't conduct the meetings. He'd MC them.
Oh, he was quite a guy. I remember one night he told a joke, and I think I've told you this, at a stake function for, mutual or something. And I kind of remember part of it, but they were hurrying to church, and they were late, and the one friend said to the other, well, do you think we'll get there in time? And she says, I don't know, I think Mass will be too late or something. Anyway, he said, my ass. And President Palmer was just
yeah.
he was chagrined. He even got up later and apologized for Galt. He says, he says we can't help but know everything anyone's going to say.
Remember Mrs. Palmer?
Yes.
She's quite a character.
Oh, yes.
He said if Mrs. Elton and Byron and Tanner come to church at the same time, we'll have to sing how firm a foundation to keep the church from falling down.
Dear. Oh, dear.
Isn't that something?
I'll say. But he was a great guy. He emceed everything.
And sang, right?
And so his singing was so great. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, honey.
We'll take a little break here.
You out to town.